They are tax suckers. Us small businesses, we're tax collectors. They are the poster child for corporate welfare.
Enough is enough with the salmon farming.
Placing our marine ecosystems at risk is nothing short of irresponsible.
They like to call themselves farmers. They're far from it. This is an industrial feedlot operation just hundreds of meters from homes.
We should be leading the world on how to do this right, not 10 years behind.
It's very simple. We have to get the damn net pens out of the water.
On June 27, 2024, at the Wooden Monkey Restaurant in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, the Healthy Bays Network holds a press conference. They want to know, is anybody listening?
So we're here today gathering with the Healthy Bays Network. It's a province-wide organization that is determined to get open net pen salmon feedlots out of our bays. So 12 years ago, back in 2012, we held a rally at the Lord Nelson Hotel with hundreds of people in attendance, concerned about the same issues around fish farms. And it's obvious that there's much greater awareness today to the damage that is caused to our oceans by open net pen feedlots.
I did speak at the 2012 Lord Nelson event. It was a success in the sense that we raised consciousness, but it was not a success in the sense that we did not change public policy.
Many of you will remember the time that Cermak Canada came to town. Cermak Canada, of course, is our favorite subsidiary of Mitsubishi. They spent 2 years in Nova Scotia assessing the suitability of our waters, hearing almost everywhere they went that Nova Scotians were surprisingly not very enthusiastic about cramped cages, tons of feces, antibiotics, pesticides, and dead fish occupying their local harbors. Cermak, of course, packed up and left, stating in the end that they couldn't find enough appropriate sites for development. And I thought it would be worth remembering Cermak and remembering that acknowledgement that they made about Nova Scotia, given that we now have a provincial government embarking on a coastal classification project to determine green zones for these very same polluting fish farms in the bays and harbors that we love. Think about this. How can it be that an international corporation like Cermak was unable to find 15 suitable sites for fish farm development in Nova Scotia? And yet, somehow, our own government representatives spending public dollars are attempting to do the very same thing, sometimes against the will of the communities that they represent.
I'm going to talk to the effects of living by a fish feedlot, and this is going to happen around this province. And I'll tell you, no one's listening. The home has been in my partner's family since the beginning of time. And so we totally renovated the home, and we have a beautiful spot on the ocean. And then that showed. Next door, the home came available. We purchased it. It's an 1898 Sea Captain home, Victorian, and it sleeps 10. And so we run it as an Airbnb. When they drive down the driveway, the first thing they see is the fish farm and the feeding barge. And the first thing they do when they get out of their cars, what's that? Because even people in Nova Scotia aren't aware of what open pen fish farms are doing to our coastline. It looks pretty peaceful there, but in the winter take 30-foot waves covering, and the waves hide that whole unit.
Anywhere there is a salmon aquaculture in proximity of a wild salmon river, the wild salmon pay the price. An escape event at a salmon aquaculture site of less than 30 fish will threaten the conservation efforts and will likely go unreported by the industry.
Noise. You think that feed barge is quiet? As soon as I open the patio door, step out, look at that. It's a generated diesel, whatever, generator, and it hums. So that's a decibel reading I took. Now it's equivalent, and then it's actually health hazards for listening to noise over 74 is a health hazard. I wrote in, explained, they shrugged me off and said, no, 18 hours going straight, listening to that. Steady, even with our windows closed. So this is what they want to do all the way around the province. I'm trying to stop. That's why I said, no, we can't wreck Nova Scotia. It's our ocean's playground. Right now, there's 14 pens out there, and they have approximately 400,000 fish total. They want to add another 6 pens to this site, and then do 2 other sites. So total is 60 pens. And if they expand, our little harbor will have 1.98 million fish. I know, I've measured the depth of the water. It's 18 meters. If you go to somewhere like Norway or Chile, it's like 300-meter deep water. They flush. This little bay, it doesn't flush.
The only finfish aquaculture lease applications that should be considered by the province are operations that are land-based and use recirculating systems and have a solid effluent treatment plan. Lobster harvesters contribute to an industry valued in excess of $3 billion in lobster exports alone, which in turn creates tens of thousands of jobs on and off the water throughout our province.
It is bitterly ironic that the whole world is in transition against the traditional model of open net pen fish farms, and we here in Atlantic Canada appear to be oblivious to that. They've seen the light in Chile, which used to be the most permissive jurisdiction in the world for net pen activity. We call upon the government to take an obvious lesson from other jurisdictions around the world and remove net pen activity from this province.